Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney that does two things, and I do them well. I assist people and their families with Medicaid planning for long-term care needs, and I do probate. Today I wanted to talk to you about a Medicaid planning strategy involving the use of a life estate, interest in real estate. Many times in estate planning and in elder law, we use life estates where the adult children or the person who the elderly person would like to leave their legacy, their property to, they hold the remainder interest in a property. That's the common use of a life estate for avoidance of probate. However, life estates can be used when we are anticipating a Medicaid application in the future and we are putting together a Medicaid planning strategy. For instance, sometimes what families, their ultimate desire is for their relative to move in with them. So if you have an aging adult in your family and it is clear that their ability to live alone has come to an end and they really need to be living in a family environment, so that way there are caretakers in the evening hours and just people just to be supportive and assist, right? Many times I think it's time for mom to sell her home, right? And that might be the case because they say, mom needs to sell her home, she needs to move in with us. That's the most appropriate thing at this time. And that's wonderful, and many times that is the appropriate thing to do because the ultimate goal always is to stay out of institutional care and to be able to be at home and be cared for by your family and your relatives. So if that is something where you're considering, we want to sell the home, but now we have a concern, what do we do with this money? You know, the condo or the home mom's condo or home has value. What are we supposed to do with this money? Because we anticipate, applying for Medicaid in the future based on the medical needs. What should we do? Where's the best place to invest it, to place it, to otherwise protect it from causing us troubles and tripping up mom down the line when she needs to apply for Medicaid? So one of the best tools in that case scenario is for mom to take the money that she gets from the sale of her property and purchase a life estate in the child's home that she's moving into. So she will then purchase an interest in that home, move into the home, and now she is a part owner, she has a life estate interest in that home, and Medicaid encourages this. They think this is a good use of the funds, and it is something that as long as mom is able to live in that home for 1 year, they won't be considering that as any sort of inappropriate transfer. So mom will move in with her relative caregiver. She owns a interest in the home that she lives in. And since it's a life estate, when she passes away, that relative whose interest she purchased will still remain the owner of their home. So there's no issues of it becomes essentially monies that stays in the family and isn't counted for Medicaid purposes. And mom gets the benefit of living with her family and staying out of institutional care and still living relatively independently, but in the protection of a family setting. All assets are preserved, and when it comes time for the Medicaid application, we don't have to deal with any sort of penalty period or during the look back because it was a permissible purchase. Not everybody, this is not a situation that's ideal for everybody, but for some families, this is a really great Medicaid planning tool, particularly if you know that that the condition of mom is such that she's going to completely be able to not need institutionalized care for the next year, that it's really something that we're looking at more long-term, or even 3 to 4 years out, or 2.5 to 3 years out, that, you know, her condition is great, she's doing good, living with the family is going to just be exactly what she needs to stay out of institutional care longer. And so it's a win-win for everybody. Monies are protected, legacies are intact, and we're ready for a Medicaid application should one be necessary in the future. But I put out a word of caution. Should this be something that you think is ideal, I highly encourage you to reach out to an elder law attorney and have them assist with this transfer. Do not attempt this real estate transfer alone. You could create all kinds of title issues. Also, you want to make sure that you evaluate the tax implications that might be there. And as a practical pointer, make sure that when mom moves in with you, that you change all of her identification, that she gets her state ID updated with her current address, that her medical cards and everything else have, and her voter's registration lists her new address, because that's important when we come time for our Medicaid application, that we establish that she was indeed living at and a resident of the home in which she purchased the life estate in. If this has been helpful to you, I ask that you like and share with others who you think would also benefit. And thank you for joining me.